Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mercury Morning News. We're on the mic today, as always, with Ms. Amanda Maceda, and right now with Lauren, the Life and Arts editor of the Mercury. And of course, you're listening on Radio UTD.com, where you can follow us at Radio UTD across the board, and you can call in at 972-883-6305. Not right now, though. This is a recording. But today, or right now rather, we're going to be talking with Lauren about the Eco Hub?
The Eco Hub.
The Eco Hub. All right, let me in. What's the Eco Hub? What are we looking at here, Oz?
Well, so Office of Sustainability is establishing a student-run farm on Synergy Park Boulevard, kind of by Northside, near where the new water tower just went in. And it's going to be a 20,000-acre farm that is going to grow produce to donate to the Comic Cupboard and to the North Texas Food Bank. It's kind of intended as just another way to get students involved in sustainability efforts on campus, kind of educate about food justice and that sort of thing.
All right. Food justice?
Social justice, climate justice, food insecurity, that kind of thing.
Just okay, I see.
Like food deserts.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Clearly I need to be clearly I need some of these programs. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds good. What's a food desert? Just
I can answer that one. But a food desert is a term for sometimes very urbanized areas that don't have as much access to grocery stores. And yeah, it's like basically maybe a neighborhood that only has access to 7-Elevens or very specific stores.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's you're not able to buy all the foods or all the nutritional, healthy, balanced diet. It's not really accessible to everyone because of geographical reasons sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And it's tied up with social justice because a lot of times the communities that have food deserts are marginalized communities. So kind of economic justice, social issues, they're all kind of tied up together. So that's kind of what the farm is hoping to address.
right.
So you said the farm would be donating the food to local food banks, or is there a way that students that maybe do not have enough income, maybe it's all going into their tuition, to be able to maybe sign up to get certain portions maybe for themselves?
Right, so the primary recipient is going to be the Comic Cupboard, which is, a great resource for students who are facing food insecurity. They really want everything that the farm produces to go back into campus, into helping, some of the students that are facing those kind of things. And then anything that goes above and beyond what the Comic Cupboard can handle and what they have demand for will then potentially be donated to the North Texas Food Bank. But their priority for sure is UTD students, and they're doing that through the Comic Cupboard.
Right. So do you know what they hope to be growing? Is it just a general kind of farm in a sense? Or is there anything that they're particularly looking to grow that might be better for this area or easier?
Yeah, so they haven't actually nailed down yet exactly what they're going to plant. They're hoping to get things really rolling on October 16th, which is World Food Day. And at the moment, they're recruiting student leaders to kind of help spearhead this initiative. And once those student leaders have been assembled, they'll kind of get a say in, okay, what are the things we think we want to plant? They are aiming to have some fall and winter plants, put in this year. I don't really know in Texas what those plants would be, but it seems kind of have a range, maybe similar to the things that they grow in the community gardens, just on a larger scale.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any connection between those two? Because I'm not really too familiar with the community garden and I guess how that involvement might cross. I assume maybe a lot of people that are involved in that garden will have interest in this farm.
Right. So the main difference with the community garden is that people can sign up to be plot holders at the garden, and they have full control over what they do with what their plot produces. So some people choose to donate it. Some people, especially students that are food insecure, they can just keep it for themselves. So the main difference between the Eco Hub and the community garden is that the food grown at the Eco Hub it's all intended for donation. And then as far as interest, they actually have gotten a lot of student interest outside of people who are involved with the community garden. There is a little bit of overlap, and I think they're hoping to kind of plug in people who are involved with the community garden who already kind of have some of that knowledge of how to care for these plants, but they have had a lot of student interest kind of outside of the people who are already involved with it.
That's really cool. No, I'm really sorry. It's just that
there was
our Tyler, the editor-in-chief, just walked past advertising the last pizza in the office. You love to see it.
Maybe it got picked up by the mics, maybe not.
I don't know.
They'd already know if they heard it.
You know what, listener, if you heard that, laugh along with us. That was great. that was a great moment. But yeah, that's actually really cool.
What inspired you to look into, like, do you have a green thumb?
You know, I wish I did.
Yeah.
No, I just saw, that they were doing this, that they were recruiting people for it. And I think that, I just think that's a great way for students who have kind of all different interests, whether that be social justice, climate justice, food insecurity, kind of a way for all of those passions to converge and really be able to do something tangible to help, help our community, help students who are going through food insecurity. So I don't know. I just think it's a really unique opportunity for students and something I'm excited to see pan out.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is like it's a really actually tangible way to make and do change, right? You know, a lot of times, like, we publish a few opinions in this paper where it's a little bit scuffed and you can't really do anything about it, and it's just kind of, almost a whatever. But in this instance, right, the entire goal is that you're going to get out there, you're going to help make educational programs, grow the actual food, and like distribute it to the common cupboard, which can affect a lot of students on campus. This is a local, not an immediate, but it's a local change that you can make, like as a student.
Mm-hmm. And I think we can kind of have a tendency to want to blame these things on like someone else. It's someone else's problem to solve, to solve these problems. And while I think we do definitely need to hold leaders and politicians accountable, there are things that we as students can do to help as well. And I think this is one really great way to do that.
Yeah, and kind of weird intersection, I guess, but like one of the old reporters, Patricia, she actually, I'm doing hand signals and I forgot we are back in an audio medium, but basically it seems like there are some student leaders that are trying to promote this, across the board. So in one club page, she was talking about there's like an interest form. If like listeners, you're interested, you can find EcoHub on the UTD Dallas website and fill out their interest form.
Is it, are they going to be like paid positions?
No, from what I've heard, they're volunteer, but Lauren, if you have...
Yeah, all volunteer. So it sounds like they were hoping to recruit like about 20 regular student leaders to volunteer like around 10 hours a month, maintaining like each student a specific like variety of plant, and they would spend about 10 hours a month maintaining, watering, weeding, all that stuff. And then on regular and designated community service days, anyone who wants to volunteer but maybe isn't able to make that 10-hour a month commitment will be able to go help. Probably will be things like weeding when plants are ready to be harvested, that kind of thing. So it seems like there's definitely a lot of room for, a large amount of student participation.
Yeah, it's just getting that student participation that's going to be key. It's like the 10-hour thing, like I feel like...
It's a lot of time. And it's a lot of time to volunteer. It'll probably be really easy to get like, It'll probably be really easy to get some like JSOM students that have like the required hours to do it. But, not everybody has to do these volunteer hours. So it's a lot more like, please come on out and help us, farm and stuff.
It would be so cool if like that was like a biology or like an environmental science like thing you could do for extra credit, or even do like a class assignment to maybe donate 10 hours throughout the semester or something, and not on a weekly basis. Are there any specific professors that are working with the micro farm or kind of spearheading it other than those involved with the Office of Sustainability?
Yeah, so actually another kind of key part of the EcoHub is going to be more apiaries for the bees. So I think like 10 new boxes, I think was what I heard, will go in to the EcoHub. And there are two professors, I believe Christina Thompson and Scott Ripple are the professors that kind of lead the honeybee biology classes and do a lot of work with the apiaries that we currently have on campus. So those were two names I heard that, they were mentioned as they'll be involved with the new apiaries as well. And that was kind of one of the, I guess, hooks to get students interested. Students who volunteer, to be these kind of regular leaders will get first dibs on, getting to learn how to care for the hives, how to harvest honey. They were talking about selling honey to kind of then feed that money back into the program. So, yeah.
I would love to see some honey being sold. It's like instead of a teddy bear shape, it's like T-Mock.
A T-Mock?
Like
amazing.
Amber comet.
Oh my god. The T-Mock honey container?
Can't you imagine it?
I hate that I can.
It glistening in the sunlight almost.
Why does it have to be glistening, man? Come on.
Yeah, apiary, if you're listening in, totally use it, please. It would make so much.
Yeah. All right, everybody. You gotta sign up to join the Eco Hub. Not for the educational programs. Not for food insecurity. Okay. Yeah, you go in here for the honey, 100% for sure. The T-Mock honey. Are they T-Mock honey bears? Is that like
that's what I was envisioning.
You just have little T-Mocks.
Yes, it would be
just hand out
adorable.
on campus. It's like, join the Eco Hub today, please.
I think I would pay a significant amount more than regular honey if it was shaped like T-Mock.
Well, I think you should pitch it to them. It sounds like they're always looking for student ideas for how to grow this thing. So
I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Just full on
Oh
sketching.
my gosh. You gotta sketch out the T-Mock honey bears. You have Enoch variations, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's it's got like the whole crane shape. No, you could even do like an Enoch honey pump. So like it like you can like pump it into like a tea, right? It's like an Enoch honey pump. You pump it into your tea, you mix it in, right? And it's the perfect shape. It's a crane.
Yeah, no, it's got the ergonomics.
Yeah.
I think you might have a future in honey container design.
I can't look at you in the eyes right now the way you're looking at me. Talking's hard.
I love to see how this is going to progress because it's still the beginning stages. And again, it's going to be key to get students, especially since this seems to be very much a volunteer basis. And we have such a busy campus community. But I feel like food insecurity is such a major issue right now. And it's even more prevalent with knowledge being shared. There's another verb I was going to use, but it's gone.
It's gone. It's lost in the ether.
But yeah, just thank you for I guess wanting to cover this and being able to come on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Y'all go sign up to volunteer.
Sign up to the Eco Hub, Start working those apiaries, start working the fields. It'll be a great time. Just like it is on Radio UTD, where you can follow us across the board at Radio UTD on every social media that there is. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got one. We've got pseudo stereos on there. It's a great time as well. And, of course, you can call in at 972-883-6305. And while this is a recording, me and Amanda will still be in the studio, able to take your call. More able to than regularly, because I don't actually know how to record the calls. Amanda does, I hope. I'm pretty sure. Do you?
We'll find out.
We'll find out if you call us at 972-883-6305. And coming on up next, we've got some new music coming straight out. It's Rum Pumpo from Kate Vargas on the same named album. It's going to be a great time afterwards. We've got an interview from Amanda. Who's it with?
So this was so fun. I'm so excited to share this with y'all. We got to interview Zeke Forever. As we're recording this, it was last night. It was a late night during the Pseudo Stereo local music feature. he just released a new album called Kryptonite, and we just talked about his process and what he hopes to achieve in terms of music videos in the future. But it really was just talking about Kryptonite because it's been years in the making. You know, he said it was essentially his baby, and you can really feel his passion and excitement for sharing the album and the final release during that interview.
I listen to the Chainsmokers, but go online and trash talk them all day.
People always ask me what I'm listening to, and every time I say Frank Ocean, but it's not. It's Skrillex.
If you didn't have Linkin Park, you wouldn't have Brockhampton.
I love System of a Down because it's the only band that ever matters. No other band ever matters other than System of a Down. You know, people talk about how they like Metallica and they like, I don't know, Rammstein. Rammstein is good, you know, like I can't say that Rammstein isn't good. But System of a Down blows Rammstein out of the water, you know what I mean? And like, Serge's voice is so good. Like, how could...
Every day, hundreds of UTD students listen to the same old stuff. Tune into Radio UTD. Quit playing yourself.
Hey, this is Amanda, and you're listening to the Mercury Morning News here on RadioUTD.com. Just a reminder, make sure to follow both Radio and the Mercury on our respective platforms. It's UTD Mercury and Radio UTD, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And make sure to check out our website for all the shows we have for this semester. We've got a great lineup, and in the future, you know, training apps are closed, but if you'd like to be involved with radio this semester, our blogger applications are still open, as well as our audio tech applications. For example, the little promo you just heard, that would be an example of what you could make here as an audio tech. Coming up, we've got a local music feature, or really a snippet of it. The full interview will be up on YouTube sometime this week. It was an interview we did Friday night during our local music feature with Zeke Forever. Again, this is a snippet. Full interview will be up later, but I hope you enjoy, because it was a really fun interview. And after that, we're going to be playing, you know, a little surprise track. Anyways, hope you enjoy, and thank you for tuning in. So this is your first time visiting Radio UTD. We started communicating in the summer, but can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you came to become a musician?
Yes. So my real name is Keenan McWilliams. My first name is actually my mom's maiden name, which I always love, and I think that's so cool. I started making music when I was really young. My mom and her family were like musicians, and my dad is like, he's a songwriter, but he can't sing. So it's fine. But I got kind of like my talents from both of them. Like my dad's super creative. My mom is like a beast at music. And so I just kind of learned from them, learned how to write. And I got a Wii microphone. You remember those like karaoke games?
Oh
and,
my gosh.
I plugged it into my computer and I just learned. I taught myself how to record myself. And I was telling you, like, I wanted to be like a radio DJ, so I kind of already like knew kind of like those kind of things. And one year when I was like in 6th grade, I found Mixcraft, which is something that I still record music on with. And I just started making music with my cousin. If you go on YouTube and look up Zeke Forever, you will literally find like the worst music video ever. It's so terrible. It's called Live Life to the Fullest, and the only reason why it's up is because I don't know the password to the username thing anymore. So it's just up there, but it's terrible. And I was like running around in the backyard with like my Phineas and Ferb shirt and just like singing this terrible song. But I've always written music. I just always written music to like escape, and that's something that I still do to like this day. Is just write to hopefully get all of my emotions out so I don't like freak out on everybody during the day. And that's just kind of how it started for me.
Yeah, for sure. Music is such a creative medium and also an outlet.
Oh yeah, I think music is beautiful, and the reason why I'm just so passionate towards it is because a lot of things that I felt like I couldn't say, or a lot of things that I felt that I was like nervous to, I could put in a song. And that's still kind of how it is today. It's just a way for me to, I'm not good at communicating. I've learned this the more and more I grow, but I know that I can write a really good song. And tell you how I feel without actually having to tell you. You could just press play and hear it. So that's really cool.
Speaking of this, you were saying, how it's almost your outlet to getting those emotions out and communicating. With one of the trailers you posted on your current YouTube, you said that Kryptonite was about letting go.
Yes. Yeah. So when I first started writing Kryptonite, first of all, it was under like a totally different, I had like 7 different album names.
Ooh.
Like it was, at the time it was When I Feel. And I had just released a single called Blind, and this was like right before the pandemic happened. And there's 3 songs that I have on the album that was like right in that time: Control, Relapse, and Fool Me. All of those songs are like, Relapse is about smoking, which is not good, guys, don't do it. And Control was just about settling, because I wanted love, but I just kind of settled for like the situationship. And then Fooled Me, it's kind of like in the title, like I was just duped. And that was kind of like before COVID kind of like ruined everyone's life, really. And we had to like isolate ourselves. And so this album for me was kind of realizing what I was doing. And just like writing a lot of these songs helped me realize what I was doing and try to like move forward and get out of those situations, or just to get out of my head. And so when I listen to I listened to it today because I'm a weirdo and I'm like, I just want to know what I'm talking about today. I just like think about the stories and like the person I was writing the song, and it's just so weird to see. It's really weird.
Is it like a time capsule for you of sorts?
Yeah. So like I've always said that I can always tell like where I was with each album. Like Dear Golden Boy, I was like kind of figuring out myself, and I had just like moved out, so like I could like find my own voice, and I was just like, yeah, I'm golden and blah blah blah. And with Kryptonite, it was more of I've always hated being alone. I have my friend Carly here. She knows I've always like hated being alone. So the fact that I was basically forced to kind of be in my own bubble, and if I wasn't, like I was still super anxious because like COVID. So it really taught me that like these are my flaws, and they're pretty big flaws, and am I going to deal with it, or am I just gonna like settle and like, be in my own head about it? So
yeah, that was one consolation of the isolation we needed to be into to prevent this from getting worse. But with that, with the song Kryptonite, I mean, you say it in the lyrics, like loneliness used to be my kryptonite. And I feel like you really did explore those times. There was for sure, like from the times I listened to it, there is like a gradual like theme across the board, and that's further kind of cemented with those samples that you included.
Yeah.
Can you go into that a bit?
So for the album, well, I'll take it back to say this. As an artist, when I was listening to music as a kid, I felt really alone, but I listened to music to kind of get myself out of like that feeling. And so as an artist, I want to, whoever like can relate to anyone that can relate to my music, to know that they're not alone. Like I was going through the same situations, and I think that during the time where I was like super lonely and like just felt like there was not really a light at the end of the tunnel, I had family and friends that were around that were like constantly checking in on me. Like my dad, he's on the album twice, and he has like this big long monologue about like greatness comes with great power, and that was what he was telling me during the time where I really just didn't believe in myself. My sister, like we have like this really funny and cool relationship, and she was like checking in on me when I was like unemployed, didn't have a job, like. So I wanted to make sure that when you listen to a Zeke Forever album, that you're going to have a sense of, okay, I can do this. Like, I'm not alone. The message of that album is there's always going to be light. Like, your nights won't last always. And I lived through it, and I just kind of wanted anyone to listen to feel that.
And that was the little snippet you got to hear of the interview. Again, it'll be posted to YouTube pretty soon, as well as the transcript will be available on our website. Again, you're listening to the Mercury Morning News here on Radio UTD. And before we go, well, actually, we are at the end of our show, Ben.
We are at the end of our show.
After this, we've just got some new music for you, which we'll talk about later. But for now, I want you to enjoy this track called Fade by Zeke Forever featuring Global Octopus. There's also a very nice music video out on Zeke Forever's YouTube. Totally recommend you check that out, especially if you enjoy this track.
100%. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll be right back after the set.